welcome to my channel. Thanks for clicking and supporting, or if you're just really bored, then I don't know, welcome. I hope this entertains you enough. Well, most of us are in like shelter in place or quarantining or whatever you want to call it. I live in Southern California, so we have been on a shelter in place for 3 weeks now, something like that. I haven't worked in almost 2 weeks, and yeah, I don't know, it's crazy times. I've been talking about starting a YouTube channel for a while, and I've gotten like closer and closer to starting it, and I don't know if I get scared or what, like something always happens. Like my last tripod broke right before I started like the whole filming process, and a near and dear friend to me, she actually got me a tripod. So yeah, here we are. So anyway guys, I kind of wanted, I don't know what this channel is going to turn into. I know one thing I want to do is cook, because your girl likes to eat. The other things that I'm probably going to end up doing are very like homemakey. I hate to use this word because some people kind of take it negatively. I don't mean it negatively though. Kind of like more domestic skills, things like that. Life skills, like, I don't know, I guess you could maybe like look at it as like a home ec class on YouTube. But also I want to do other fun things, whatever they may end up being. Like I said, a lot of cooking, so like trying new recipes. I might do a vlog here or there. I don't really know. My life's not like that crazy interesting. I do want to share a lot of frugal living tips. That's something that I feel I've grown a lot in the last few years in terms of the skills that I've gotten on that. And I love watching other YouTubers, and I don't know, even though I feel like you can find a lot of the same information that I plan on sharing on other platforms, I don't know. I like to think that maybe my platform might be one that you prefer to hear it from. So we'll see. I don't know. But like I said, one of the first things I really want to do is cook on my channel. So I figured, why not start with what I hope to become a segment. I don't know if I want to do this once a week, every other week, once a month. I think I'm going to shoot for every other week for now. If by the end of this video you're like, oh, I actually want to see more of these are pretty cool, Alyssa, just comment below, like the video, subscribe while you're at it. But let me know, and like I'll be happy to do more of them. But today we're gonna do like a bake with me kind of. Well, not kind of, it is a bake with me. And we're gonna be making my fiance's favorite that he literally begs me to make the second he finishes the last one I made, the next one that I make all the time. We're gonna make a French silk pie. So I feel fancy because I already have the ingredients pre-measured out like in a cooking show and stuff. So I don't know. Let's get to it. Hey guys, so we're gonna start with like ingredients and equipment you're gonna need. Definitely pie tins. If you have like the glass reusable one, like a big one, you just need one of those. But if you're using the disposable pie tins like I am, I really recommend doing two. You can make it in one, but it kind of overflows. It gets a little more messy, and it's a really rich pie, and you don't, I think it's just better to do in two. And for pie crust, you can make it if you want a pie crust recipe. I don't know, find one on YouTube or Pinterest, because I'm not good at making pie crust, to be quite honest. Plus, this pie crust is 64 cents. And y'all, I live in Southern California, and I mean, it's 64 cents here, and that's the cost of living here is outrageous. So, I mean, if it's 64 cents here, it's probably cheaper elsewhere. And it's really great pie crust. It's really easy to make. You'll see, because we'll make it. Anyway, for the chocolate part of the filling, that's what we're going to start with. You're going to need a cup of butter, so it's going to be 2 sticks total. You don't need it like soften, but you do want to like room temperature. Like definitely take it out of the refrigerator and kind of let it hang out before you start the process. A cup and a half of sugar. See, I told y'all, I measured out the ingredients like cook and show. And then you're going to need, the recipe calls for 4 ounces of chocolate, but as you can see, this is 3.5 ounces of chocolate. I only ever use just 1 bar. I think it's enough. So yeah, we're going to need 1 bar of chocolate. You're going to need 2 teaspoons of vanilla, 2 tablespoons of cocoa, and then 4 eggs. And then in terms of equipment to start out with, you're going to want your electric mixer. You're going to want a larger bowl for the actual filling part, smaller bowl so we can make the pie crust, and then I don't know, one of these to hang out with, and then a fork also, because you'll see when we make the pie crust, we're going to do little. Okay guys, so the next thing we're going to want to do is melt the chocolate. So there's a lot of ways you can melt chocolate. I do it the way that my dad taught me to do it, and that is to get like a saucepan and then like a another saucepan or like something glass to set it in. So like this bowl sits pretty nicely in here, and then there's still a little bit of room on the bottom, so it's not touching the bottom. Because the point is, you don't want the chocolate under direct heat because it can cause it to scorch. And I mean, this is pretty nice chocolate, you know. I don't want to ruin it, and I don't want to ruin the flavor of the pie. So yeah, I'm just gonna put a little bit of water here. About a quarter of the way full is good. Yeah. I could probably do a little bit more. You basically want enough where the water isn't like oozing out over the sides, and where like right now the bowl is floating. I don't want that. Alright, that's a little better. It's got a little float, but it's not too bad. And you just want to melt it under like a pretty medium-low heat. You don't want to melt it too fast. Kind of like the same with milk. Have you guys ever tried to like boil just straight milk? If you boil it too high, it'll just boil over all of a sudden and the milk will scorch. Okay. So, I'm going to save, this like comes in squares. I'm going to save one square for later, for the garnish. But then the rest of them, I'm just gonna break them up. Here, I'll lower this down so you guys can actually visualize what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm just gonna put them all in there. And for now, I'm just gonna wrap this puppy back up. Like I said, we will use it later for garnishing. So I'm actually going to put this in the refrigerator so it's nice and cold, because we're going to grate it onto the pie later on. So the colder it is, the easier it'll be to grate. So the next thing we are going to do, is that like a good, much better. All right, I'm gonna take your 1.5 cups of sugar, put that in a bowl, and then a cup of butter. Like I said, 2 sticks of butter.
It's 4 o'clock.
Somebody correct me. Okay. So we're just gonna cream this together. You wanna do it on like medium, low speed. And it'll probably take about 2 to 3 minutes until it's nice and fluffy, you'll see. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna add the vanilla, and the cocoa powder. Just gonna scrape a bowl. This is why metal spatulas are handy. If you do not have, or not metal, rubber, if you do not have rubber spatulas in your home, then hen chow, go buy yourself some. You can save a lot of product that way. Whatever you're cooking, just scraping everything down. And then I'm just gonna scrape this back. That's what my Meemaw taught me. And then when we're done, we lick off the rest, right? All right, now I'm gonna grab the melted chocolate. I don't want that to fall. I'm gonna go grab the melted chocolate. It's been in the refrigerator so it can cool. right, y'all. Now look at me. We have 4 of these to blend into this. Now we're gonna do them individually. This is the real kicker with French silk pie, and it's why it is sometimes a pain to make. We're gonna blend each egg for 5 individual minutes. So that means we're gonna be spending 20 minutes, I know, 20 minutes blending. Like, that's it. I guarantee you, if you're using one of these, if you don't have a fancy KitchenAid, like I don't have a fancy KitchenAid right now, if you have one of these, your hand is going, like, if you get off of the elliptical or the treadmill after grinding for like 30 minutes or an hour and how you feel all floaty, that's how your hand's about to feel. So be prepared. Let's do this. Alright, we're about to add the second egg. And one thing you guys should really pay attention to, I'm sure you'll notice, is how much the texture of this changes as you add each egg. It is a hassle, but hey, it's like really, really cool to watch it transform into this kind of grainy, almost looking, I've already added the first egg, so it's already starting to get kind of silky. It'll focus. But you'll see, you can still see like sugar crystals, like the effect of it. And just see how many more eggs, what it turns into. Okay, going in with egg 2. Alright guys, we are finally done blending all of that, but like I said, you can see how much silkier that looks. You can also see all those aeration bubbles from beating the egg for so long, helping it get all fluffy. So I'm just gonna bring over the pie tins. And yeah, we're gonna just distribute it in half and half. Doesn't have to be perfect because we're making it with love. Can you feel? Alright. Let's see. Handy dandy rubber spatula. Scrape all that up. See what I mean? Imagine trying to put all of this in one of these, because the chocolate ends up literally to the rim, and then when you try to put the whipped topping on, there's just no room, and then the whipped topping to chocolate distribution is just all messed up, and we can't be having that now. Alright. I'm gonna put these in the refrigerator. Cool, let them set for like 4 to 6 hours. You can let them set as long as you want. Alright guys, while we are waiting for those pies to set, one thing to do in those 4 hours or 6 hours or however long you're going to let it set, go ahead and wash those little electric mixers. And if you have a metal bowl, that'll be best. But if you only have like a glass bowl, that's fine. But take those items and put them in the freezer. Find out why here soon. Hey you guys, so it is actually the next day. It was a little late by the time the pies had set for me to like finish filming. So full disclosure, one of the pies is actually already made and already been eaten a bit. I told you they don't last very long in this house. But I have the second pie that I'm gonna finish up together, and we're gonna make the whipped topping. Now, 2 things about the whipped topping. Obviously, I'm going to make half the amount because I only have 1 pie left to top, but I recommend doing 1 pie's whipped topping, topping it and finishing up, and then moving on to the next pie. That way your whipped topping is nice and fresh and fluffy, and I feel like the more that you mess around with it, once you've made the whipped topping, like if you're having to kind of like, I don't know, split it up and put it on different pies and everything, I just feel like it loses the like oomphness of is there a better word? Volume of the like whip that happened. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and we're gonna make the whip topping. I'm going to grab our bowl and the whisk for the blender. I'm going to grab, not blender, hand mixer. I'm gonna go grab those out of the freezer along with my heavy whipping cream. I want all of those things as cold as possible, because the colder they are, the better the whip topping is gonna come out and the faster it'll whip up the way that we want it to. And we're gonna measure out 1 cup of heavy whipping cream. I have to get second one. And then I'm just gonna add a teaspoon of vanilla and then 1/3 cup of powdered sugar. And I just kind of slowly add the powdered sugar. You can kind of see it's holding together, but we want to look for peaks. So the way my grandmother taught me is you want to scoop. Let's see if I can show you a better angle. Okay, here. You want to be able to scoop, and you want kind of like peaks, but there's no peaks. See how it's kind of like falling? It's terrible lighting. Let me move it closer. There's not peaks forming yet, but we're close. So we'll go just a little bit more.
Welcome.
All right, can you guys see now how it's peaking? It's actually holding stiff. So another way to say it, I don't talk right, I guess. So we've got our set pie. You can see it's not moving anymore, although my crust did get a little cracked there, but that's okay. That's kind of why I like this crust, because it's nice and crispy and delicate. Okay, I've also got that chocolate we saved from yesterday that we're gonna shave on top. For that, you can either do just like a normal cheese grater, or I use a vegetable peeler. I'm sure there's a million and one ways you could do it, but that's what I usually use. So I'll show you the different ways that I'll use it. Okay, so let's get this whip topping on there. So yeah, we did end up eating some of this last night. It was just so late, I didn't want to film because my fiance was home. We were watching The Office. Shout out to those of you that like The Office. And yeah, we just wanted to eat the pie, so I just made up the whipped topping real quick, which, by the way, we don't really keep whipped cream in our house because I always keep heavy whipping cream on hand. And I'll make basically this. I use a little less powdered sugar if I'm just making like normal whipped cream. I don't know, depends on my mood, how sweet I want it, but that's like a fun thing you can do with it. But we made it last night. We ate a few slices and I just said, hey, I'll finish this tomorrow. So I'm not like crazy talented. I don't have crazy tools to make this look very pretty, but I like to try to keep a light hand on it, and then I'll just lick the rest of that off. So now we have our beautiful whipped up pie. Just gonna unwrap this chocolate. So like I said, there's a couple ways you could do it. You could go without the chocolate. I was thinking the other day, like you could maybe dust some like cocoa powder on it. That would probably be good if you want to melt like all your chocolate down and you're not left with any or something like that. But the vegetable peeler was in the dishwasher last night, so this is what I used. I just did the long way, so that way some ribbons would be a little smaller. This does tend to crumble it up, but it does make like a nice little dusting. You get some little ribbons in there with it. Make it snow all that beautiful, beautiful chocolate. Okay, so that's what it looks like with all of the little shreds. But if you want like bigger ribbons to display, you could take the vegetable peeler, just ever so lightly, you can make bigger ones. Now sometimes I get really good ribbons. Other times it's more of just the thicker crumples. I guess there's not going to be any ribbons today. I don't know. If you know a secret to making chocolate ribbons, let me know. It's all going to go in my mouth anyway. And I'm not a perfectionist, like I said at the beginning, as long as it's made with love. So there we got it, folks. Like I said, even though I was just doing one, I would still only go with doing one pie at a time. So do the 1 cup of heavy whipping cream. Don't go 2 cups of heavy whipping cream and double that all up. Because I think the less you have, just the better it's going to flop off for you. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I really enjoyed filming this. I hope you enjoyed watching it. I hope that you either made the pie along with me or you're going to make it because it's really delicious. Like I said, it is definitely popular in my house and it goes so fast. These 2 pies will probably not be here in like 3 days. But anyway, I hope you guys do well through this quarantine. I'll have a new video up here in a couple days. If you want to see it, I would love if you would subscribe. I know there's like a little bell notification if you want to get notified about it. But if not, I just really appreciate the watching support. But I'll catch you guys later. Bye!